They'll be calling you a radical. Got an update coming on my activism, our activism, the Post-Ignorance Project. My passport finally showed up. So I'll be in Calgary Friday or Saturday, Canada. So I'll be there for a few days. So I want to talk about, got this in the mail today. Been reading some of the poetry. Billy, I liked it. Royal Mail. Sent to me by Royal Mail. Hey, I love it. I love it. Really turned me on. I mean, I love books like this, and I started reading it. It's the poems and the songs. I get so turned on. You know, William Wallace, do you think maybe 700 years ago that people of the region, do you think they knew they were living in historical times? No. I don't think they did. You know, we're living in historical times right now. And I want to talk about, you don't think my videos matter, and I want to show you some. Hold on, I forgot to grab it. You can hang in there for 1 second. I was going to grab this. I'll tag this video in here. This is important that I do this. Really important. I should have did it a long time ago. My activism as I've traveled, you know, there's a lot of people that don't so much comment, whatever. There's a lot of powerful people that are involved with me. Per se, this fight, this path of mine. Because it's been so real. They've watched me full of AML leukemia. They've watched me, you know, try to tell the reality of this horrible, evil fucking monster called nuclearism. You know, out there on the test site. I got to tell you, I've been lurking around out there for my whole life. I grew up on this huge ranch down there. And I'm out there in the middle of nowhere on the backside of the lake. Nobody goes out there. I mean, nobody. It's the middle of, it's Timbuk 4, 5, and 6 out there. And I've never really run into fucking problems. You know, the military's dump site out there, the world's military burn is a top secret facility, but you can drive out there. I've never got, oh boy, did I run into problems. They don't fuck around anymore out there, you know, but I know the law, and I know my rights, and I know exactly what I can, and I don't, you know, I don't violate the law, and I'm there to try to protect them too. I don't want this security person, I don't want any military industrialized police force, I don't want them to get cancer either. I mean, you know, I love my enemies that way. I wouldn't wish this monster on my worst enemy. I wouldn't even wish this on the nuclear cartel themselves. And I surely don't want their kids and their loved ones to go through what I've gone through. I mean, I learned so much in the last 3 years. I thought I knew a lot about life. You know, being in that bone marrow transplant unit and this walk I've walked, my travels, everything. When I was in New York, I want to talk about this, physical graffiti. And you want to talk about synchronicities and premonitions I've had, because my mind has been so in tune because of the intense fight with leukemia. And I've learned the good fight. And people that have hardcore leukemia are backed up at the wall and they're scratching and clinging and fighting for life. Boy, I learned so much about the purity of humanity and how focused the mind can be and how powerful the mind can be and how the mind can really see. Oh, did I learn? I started talking about, you know, Jagger and the physical graffiti building, and I knew that he'd shot that one film, Just Waiting on a Friend, in the physical graffiti building right before. And I didn't realize that Luann was dating him. I mean, Luann and I grew up together. She's one of the most amazing people I ever knew. I mean, really. And then I found out the same day I did the video, I did that video that morning, and then I realized it was her that later that afternoon. Oh no, oh no. So I've been wanting to do this at the physical graffiti building anyway. So I'm in New York City at the Shirtwaist, by the way, the Shirtwaist fire. That video, if I watch that video that I shot, it just makes me, I mean, talk about bringing tears to my eyes. That was a powerful event and powerful people. So I says, hey, now this is a crazy story, and I want to tell this. 3 years ago, I'm standing in Washington Square, where everything happened in Washington Square. Everything that ever, and I knew that. I'm trying to organize my post-ignorance. That's where I got involved with the very guys who called themselves Occupies, and the whole winter. I'm standing with my post-ignorance sign in the blizzards. And I'd found out that Jackson Pollock's original studio, and I found this out through the MoMA, some people I knew that at the MoMA, and they says, no, his registered studio was right there on 8th by NYU. Go find it, Kev. I found it in a snowstorm. When I put up this goofy video, 4 views. Nobody give a shit. Nobody watch it. This is a crazy story. So I go back this year to which I was trying to correlate my post-ignorance to the 100th anniversary of the Shirtwaist fire on 3/25/2011. Something happened 2 weeks before that changed all our world. changed every fiber of every being, of every piece of DNA forever. And I knew it when it happened. Fukushima happened. So I go back there. Some people were lurking around. I'd never met one ever. I spent the day with them. Judy took this great photo. And we shot that little video watching around, which I love that video. I want to call out who these people are. That's Tom Blewett. That's who I did the activism in front of Times Square and fought what we did in front of CNBC. That is one of the, I mean, that's probably the guy that was even before any Occupy that I'd met in, you know, there in the winter of 2010. You want to talk power of our act? That's him. That's him. Walking and crying. Well, that's Eric Oppenheim. Yeah. He's the son of probably the greatest sculptor America's ever seen. And the art boy, he and I had a beer together. We spent the day. Amazing. Amazing guy that gets it. Told me some great stories, and I didn't realize the great artist his father was. By the way, he looks just like his amazing father. Which his father knew Robert Smith. And anybody that wants to go with me, you know, what's the date today? So I was going to go out to the sun tunnels for the solstice. But it looks like I'm going to be in Calgary for the solstice. But his father knew Smithson personally. As I do that stuff out of the jetty, as I met Smithson, these synchronicities is so many of his family was dying. They're from Eastern Oregon, which a lot of my family. And if any of you have ever never been to Eastern Oregon, and I mean Eastern Oregon, whoa. You want to talk romantic. You want to talk amazing. 1968, my aunt and uncle were killed up there in Nessa in a car wreck. You know, we're talking about 68 today. That's because the sheep that ended up dead out there, that was in 68. And they were doing all the crazy testing right out. That's where I was. That's where I had this whole military. It's all here. It's all here. Christina, I showed her pieces of it. I blow people's mind. People won't come with me. You know, they're afraid. They won't go there. Utahs accept cancer. They love cancer. They want cancer so they can vilify themselves. They can vindicate themselves. We're all going to heaven. You're all going to hell. We're getting our planet. They love cancer as long as it's not them who has it. And they love you while you're fucking, you know, as long as you're dying. They hate people that survive cancer. But anyway, that's him. We spent the day and he told me these stories about Eastern Idaho. And now we know that Boise, Idaho and Eastern Idaho got hammered with Fukushima. We know the Wasatch here. You know, it was powerful. The people that show up to my, yeah, so many of them are on camera, so many, you know, they're there. They're connected in this gig, and I've saw it when I show up to my events. I mean, the most powerful of the powerful minds, the people that read the salt of the earth, the freaking true blue, in-ground, in their bone marrow art. He and I had a beer in the German pub, and it was really amazing stories he had. You know, I'm a giant fan of his father's work. Giant. I'm that whole genre, all of them. Warhol, Smithson, you know, Robert's wife who did the sun tunnels. We can't give up. You know, I've wanted to give up. You've seen me actually all but quit how many times? How could I not? Luann died. You know, we did that right there. The synchronicities, the art, the literature, this modern day piece of literature, our historical fight with the nuclear cartel, with this historic genre. People don't understand YouTube still. They don't get it. YouTube isn't the museum. Smithson fucking went on these great rants about the museum. By the way, they put a road out there and I fought and fought. Well, I was in the hospital the whole time because I've had in my mind, I've wanted to get the jetty at exactly the level the lake was when he shot it. He shot it because it goes red. It's going red. Premature this year. You wouldn't believe how red. Oh my God, it's so spectacular this year. The one side, I was out there the other day. Oh, the one I saw, I got so turned on by the marsh, the color. That's how he got turned on by the red, because the causeway's right behind my house. Is it cut off the flow and it turns bright fucking red. So why? I mean, I'm in the dying. Why I'm dying? This is my mind. Is on the jetty wanting that, because I knew that we were going to get a shot. Because the lake levels is under lake. The lake can rise and fall 18 inches. It's the driest in its history. At the height, Christina or I out there is usually, that's the high week, the high watermark for the lake, the year. It's lower than it is in the fall. So I got out there on the 10th of, or the 3rd of 2012, December. That's when the skies are spectacular here, and I shot that perfect. That's the only time the lake has ever been at the jetty exact level that Smithson shot. My dad, my uncle, Mr. Whitaker, Bosenbark, the Hunts, that's my family. They're all my family. You know, that's who built it. You know, I got to meet Smithson that day in Brigham City and out there. You know, it's pretty special to me, and it means a lot, but it just shows you there's a lot of powerful minds out there, and there are a small group of really powerful leaders. You know, they're there. This video that we shot, people don't get it. They'll say, I call it physical graffiti on Balco. But it means a lot. You know, we have the young baby wolf Kev there, you know. I love that kid. You know, and her art cave, I still want to buy those freaking painted sheep from her on the soup cans. Because I do understand, you know, Eric and I asked him, because I have deep, deep respect for his incredible father. I know his father was one brilliant, amazing, huge, giant fan of his. That whole group, that whole genre, I mean, they moved me as a child. 1968, a tornado ripped right through here where I'm at. The biggest tornado in the history of the state of Utah. I watched it. I'm going to run, oh my God, there's a tornado. I'll say, Mom, you know, what? Are you crazy, kid? No, look. Oh my God, boom. Wiped out our whole farm. Well, we know the Army was experimenting right up behind my fucking house. That's how all the 6,000 dead fucking sheep. What we all forget. Now the dead fucking grebes. They'll tell you the grebes fucking committed suicide in a Walmart parking lot in fucking Twilla. Really? Really? Then they'll tell you the fucking eagles were feeding on the fucking grebes and killed the fucking eagles. Really? Well, what, that burning fucking monster we got out there? The entire military complex that is the whole fucking dynamic out there? What the fuck they're up to? And I proved it out there Saturday. I've roamed around up there my whole fucking life. I'm the only one nobody will go with me. I know every square inch, the whole fucking place. It's the bombing range from hell out there. What they burn, you ought to see that black, filthy fucker fucking spewing. It's the most hideous thing I ever fucking seen. They ain't fucking around with me anymore out there. They're like, no, fuck you. Guns pointed at me, fucking, I've never had that happen to me, ever. I'm like, whoa. And I says, hey, I legally have a right of way to drive along there. Fuck you do. And I says, no, yes I do. You know, you try to Google Earth of it, and none of it shows up. It's an 8-mile complex out there fucking... And it won't even show it. I mean, they've lost control. The military is out of fucking control, and they're killing you. And you can accept it as fucking cancer in Utah. Oh, you can fucking accept. Not me. Not fucking me. I'm going to fight this historical battle, and maybe that's why God gave me a second chance, the powers there be. There's got to be a reason that I'm in East 8 in Salt Lake City in the bone marrow transplant, fighting in critical condition, this whole fight, this epic modern day genre, this modern piece of art, because you don't understand the genre of the art. As Jackson Pollock said, he didn't invent dripping. Well, I sure didn't invent fucking in front of a video camera. Andy, why are you doing these fucking movies? It's a lot easier than painting. Yeah, Warhol had a huge influence on me, so did his father. So I asked him, Eric, tell me this. I respect you. I respect you big time. He looks like his father, incredible mind like his father. People are just like... I mean, I've been nervous. Maybe I did this wrong. Maybe I told this story wrong. And he says, no. He says, I'm telling you right now, Kevin, you did it perfectly. You did it perfectly on every format, as an artist, as a person with a conscience, as a father, as a parent, as a fucking human being. And isn't that what good art is? We're humanitarians of the soul, of the being, like his father was. He says, my aunt just passed in Boise. You know, post-Fukushima, so many. He understood. The people that show up, they matter. They count. They care. They're out there. I know there's a lot of you that do. He sent me this book with a little bit of money too. Perfect timing, because I'm broke up my fucking ass, and it'll help me to get to Canada, and we're going to take care of some business up there and make this thing go forward. And Lonnie and I will be in San Diego. Lonnie Clark's going to show up with me. I'm very excited for the USS Reagan hearing. We're going to report live from the USS Reagan. We're going to report live every day from the courtroom. It's going to be a very big deal. Because the media can't cover the fucking USS Reagan. I was there last year for the whole hearing. I was there the whole time. I was the only piece of media there. The only one. In critical condition. I was there every day. Just like I was at the Megan Rice trial, which was so... boy, did you miss out. You wouldn't have believed who was there. Oh boy. The spiritual power of people that really matter. Very excited. You're out there. Boy, he gets me. This YouTuber gets me when he sends me. I was so excited to see this. And then also, Nancy Chamberlain, who wrote that incredible piece of poetry, which I thought she sent me a keychain. I got them all today in the mail. Very excited. Very excited. Very excited. So Calgary, Friday or Saturday. You know, I think Ackerman's going to come over and meet me. We're going to finish painting our dogma burgers. He and I have been working together. I'm going to actually use my soup, my special ketchup soups. And, you know, I will say this. In the 1960s, Eric's father, Rustow even, you know, his Bernie gas station in California, Andy Warhol, Edie Sedgwick, Lou Reed, all these incredible, incredible artists, these incredible Freddie Mercury, freaking the music, you know, all those peoples, they had a giant influence on me. I had an autistic mind, and it was music that saved my soul, and it was landscape, and I know as a human being, I've always known this. I've known this before I got cancer. I need to give back to humanity. That's my gift. I got the gift of life. I mean, it makes me really break down and cry to even think about it. All my friends that died, I watched it. I watched it so epically. I understand the good fight. I understand the purity. Wealth has nothing to do with money. Yeah, we need money to make this thing go forward, but I don't need to be rich. I already am rich. And Paul, Carla, all the cards and letters that were sent to me in there, all my friends that passed, and I watched it. I understand the good fight. And I understand that life is a test, and I've always known this when I was a little boy, that the birds, the landscape, it means everything to me, if you haven't noticed. The marsh, all of it. Rachel Carson, I love this quote. Rachel Carson had a giant influence on me. Martin Luther King had an influence on me. Bobby Kennedy had a giant influence. I met him right before he was killed. You know, these people influenced me because they were real and they were the purity of humanity, and they got what I got. They get it, what my father got. We have to give back. We were giving the gift of life, and life is a gift, and I learned. And the hospital lady says, wow, I never seen anybody fight so intensely for their life. I'll tell you why I fight so intensely for it, because I love life. Because I don't have to have money. I love it. I love my children. I love my grandchildren. I love the mountains. I love the marsh. I love the birds. I love the landscape. It means everything to me. And I understand the gift of life is a precious, precious, precious gift. In Iraq, Afghanistan, all of it, we dehumanize humanity. You're not dehumanizing me. Never. Never will you dehumanize me. Never. And we have to give back. In a real way, not a fake raise money fucking funny bullshit way. We have to do this. We have to be the salt of the earth, and we have to show our children and grandchildren that that's what humanity is. Humanity, the humanities. The art, the music, the culture, the painting, the all of it. I blended it all together for it's a very special genre that we are given. It's a very precious, 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 precious gift that we're given. And we have a price to pay for that gift. We give back to humanity. That's what the good fight is. I told Paul before he was dying. He spent Tom and me down. Lifelong best friends. Got sick at the same time. Incredible. I says, Paul, I'm not good enough. I'm not pure enough, because the cancer fight purifies you. You know you're dying, and it takes a long time to die. And it really is a purification process. I'm not pure enough. I'm not as good as you guys. And I'm not as good as them. And I've watched them all die. Dozens and dozens of my friends in our group. You know, so I'm going to give back everything I have till the day I fucking die. Yeah, I get discouraged just like you. I get upset. This is a hard fucking beast to fight. But as David reached into his bag, and he pulled out the stone, and he slung the stone, and the stone struck the giant in the forehead, and the stone embedded in the giant's forehead, and the giant fell to the earth. Stay tuned. See you in Calgary, then San Diego.